Welcome back to the Grid Aces show. I'm your host, Connor Hall, here with Mr. Football, Chase Godey. We got an exciting episode today. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, show us some love. We're growing. Super Bowl weekend just passed up. We had a lot of excitement, a lot of, political battles going on online, and hell of a game from the runner-up MVP and the first quarterback of the 2018 draft class to get it done. We've had some fire college ball this last week as well. But first, Chase, how we feeling?
I'm feeling like there was a lot of people, up in arms about the halftime show, and not enough people up in arms about the whole game and how boring that was. I don't want a halftime show. Who cares?
Yeah, the halftime show's more talk than the game.
If you were watching the Super Bowl for the halftime show or for the commercials, you're just not a fan of football. I can't think of one time where I cared about the halftime show. And to be honest with you, I pretty much tune out every halftime show. This one was a little bit easier to tune out for, I would say, 95% of America, because I probably could understand what he was saying. But yeah, I think we need more people complaining about the overall product that was on the field there than complaining about the halftime show.
Yeah, I agree. And I did think it was funny because, like people are protesting the halftime show, which it's like, dude, it's not the biggest deal. Like, I understand not wanting to watch it, right? For some people, and like for me, I don't listen to Bad Bunny, so like for me, it wasn't anything I was flattered over. But I just think the battle of politics needs to. We got to figure out how to eliminate it out of sports.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. Yeah, and I think, is it a great time for messaging? I don't know. The thing is, I guess I don't care that much. Like, I remember last year's, I don't remember watching it. Like, it's always the time I get up and I grab food and go to the bathroom, and I don't know. So,
Yeah,
it's been that case the whole time. Even when I was at the Super Bowl, I'm like, this thing kind of sucks. So.
Yeah, and that's why I don't know, for me personally, like I'm cool to sit and watch the Super Bowl with like the homies, some family depending on who. But like, dude, there's something different about just in your own house. It's just, you, maybe your wife, right? Just watching the game. You can skip commercials if you want to. You can, record it. You can just focus on strictly ball. And that's prime Super Bowl experience right there. But a lot of people are in it for the theatrics, the halftime performance, right? All the BS that goes on around it.
I have a question for you. You said record it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you do that? Do you so here for us, the game started at 4:30. We're in Utah, so 6:30 Eastern. Do you start the Super Bowl at 7:30 so that way you can Eastern time, so that way you can skip through the commercials, or do you just
7:30 Eastern time? So 5:30.
No, so I'm saying you said record it.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously the Super Bowl started at 4:30 our time, right?
Yeah.
Which is 6:30 Eastern. Do you wait an hour and start the Super Bowl an hour late so that way?
Yeah. So this year we did a Super Bowl party. Okay. But ideally, yeah, that's what I would like to do.
See, for me, when I watch a game live, I want there to be the commercials, not so I can watch it,
so that you can have the itch more.
There's that buildup, right? I'm itching, and
I
it's just building
the commercials.
Yeah, no, I get that too. I feel that. When I have done that, whether there's been a reason for it, or maybe it's a preseason game for the Eagles, I'll, record it and then just, skip to the commercials. It does feel nice. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like the true, genuine way to do it, because if you were at the game, you'd have to have that buildup of that time between with where the commercials would be. And so I think that's the most raw way to watch it. So when people tell me they skip through the commercials in big games, I'm like, I don't understand how you do that. That's not a purist. You got to be a purist.
I do it for almost every Suns game, and it's amazing.
Yeah, for basketball, there's 82 of those, but for for football, you got to be a purist. We don't get that many opportunities, especially our Cardinals. I mean, you guys only get like 5, 6 games a season where you're like until you're like giving up on the season. You know?
Yeah, until we're done watching them. No, that's true. Um, so actually, that brings me to I wanted to run a blind ranking places to watch the Super Bowl. Okay, we'll do 5 options for you.
Okay.
I want you to blind
One's the
rank it.
best, five's the worst. I'm assuming.
Yep. Blind
Okay.
rank it, and then we'll kind of chat about it. But starting off, I'm curious where your opinions are on these ones. We'll go sports bar.
First of all, these are all normal places. Like you're not gonna just throw me into a loop where it's like
I'm not gonna give like in the middle of the. I'm not giving you like.
I'm not having to watch it in third world countries somewhere.
No, just
and
normal
listen to
places
it on
to
a
watch.
radio.
Yeah.
Okay, so
normal
sports
places.
bar, and just an average sports bar. I guess I won't get into too deep into this one. I'm gonna put that one at. We'll put that one at 3.
Okay.
I think the energy's high, which is always fun for big games. There's probably gonna be a lot of vested interest, people with bets. Like I think it's gonna be a fun overall environment.
The reason it's not
higher.
Commentators.
Yeah, the reason it's not higher. Yeah, you get people obviously making dumb comments. Like maybe the TV isn't in the best place. Maybe you're not the most comfortable. So that way is a 3. But for overall like environment and energy, like that's gonna be pretty high up there. For like ideally sitting and enjoying it is why it's not higher, because you don't obviously the peace and quiet, and you don't get to relax probably as much. So
okay, being there live, we'll say nice weather. Okay, so like we'll say for this one, right? Or we'll even say for like the one in Vegas, right? Like good weather, or it's in a dome.
I mean, this one totally depends on your seats, to be quite honest with you. How good are my seats? Am I up in the rafters? Am I club level? Am I 50-yard line, on that bottom level, lower deck?
Yeah, let's say, do I want to give you 50-yard line? Because I feel like 50 makes it auto 1. Maybe not, though. I'll give you 50.
50-yard line. Ooh. I think that's going to be number 1 for me.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of figured that's what you were going to go with.
If you put me in the rafters, 2. So we're going to go for which one here?
Okay. And you went to the Super Bowl in Las Vegas, correct? Where were y'all?
I was up on the 3rd deck, but so we were pretty close to the rafters. We were like kind of like the lower section, like the lower few rows of the 3rd deck at about probably the 25-30-yard line. So they're pretty good seats for the upper deck. The one caveat to this is if you've never been to it, then it's an auto 1. I think no matter what, but
that's fair. Where would you rank where you were at specifically as a 1 still, or would it be 2?
Since it was my first time, it would be a 1.
Okay, and then the controversial thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
The controversial thing around the Super Bowl is a lot of people there aren't fans. Do you feel like that ruins the environment or no?
It is definitely. So I will say, going to the environment of like your home team's playoff game. So I went to the divisional round of that Eagles-Rams playoff game, and it is more electric than the Super Bowl because everybody there is 100% interested. When I was at the Super Bowl, there was 3 seats right in front of us. Decent. I mean, the tickets were probably $6,000 a pop.
Mm-hmm.
$5-6 a pop, and there's 3 seats right in front of us. The 3 people only came out for the halftime show, then they left right after the halftime show. So I would say the overall crazy. Like people just aren't like obviously that they don't care as much.
Yeah, it's a celebrity show kind of thing.
Right. There is, I would say about, I don't know, when I was there, I would say there was about like 30% that were fans of the Chiefs or the Niners, the game I was at. The other 70% are there just to be there, whether it's company gave them tickets, they won tickets, they just want to go to a Super Bowl, they placed a big bet, they want to watch the halftime show. So, yeah, no, it definitely deters. Like, I almost think like an NFC or AFC championship game is probably peak environment you'll get in a football game, not the Super Bowl.
Okay. Let's go big family watch party. So you might have a couple, aunts, uncles, maybe 5. Your grandparents there.
5.
Okay. Auto 5.
That's honestly, so like, you said big. Once you say big, then I just know that I'm not controlling who's there.
If I say immediate family, does that change anything, or do you feel the same way?
Well, it depends on your immediate family. My immediate family is pretty dang good because
I know,
got
and that's
two,
kind of why. That's why
yeah.
specifically for you, I said big
'Cause
family.
once you said aunts, uncles, I'm like, dude, now we're just getting to like some horrible sports takes where it's like, it's like,
Barbershop talk.
the Broncos would have put up so much better of a fight. I'm like, dude, no, they sucked.
Yeah, you just have to
The
put up
NFC
with
was winning it.
conversation.
The NFC had like probably the top 4 teams in football. But
Yeah,
anyways,
no,
so that's
fair.
5. So
Okay.
2 more.
Now let's say watch party with the homies. Or no. Sportsbook.
Ooh. So I've watched 2 Super Bowls in the sports book. I watched the Eagles lose in the sports book. That one was bottom. That would have been automatically last.
2 Eagles games in the sportsbooks, huh?
And then I watched them win it all in the sports book, and that was with the homies. So that's like a little bit of a caveat. That one's obviously top. But
that actually might be my best, even though
my
that
only
game
thing
was
is I already
garbage.
know I know I've butchered this list because I know what's going to be up there. But in the sports book, what are we saying that I put the Super Bowl at? Did I put that at 1? I guess I put that at 1.
Super Bowl is 1. You have
I will put this one. I'm going to put this one at 2, but I know I made a mistake. But go ahead.
Okay. And then
let me talk why the sports book's electric and why it can't be 1. Which sports book's electric because everybody there cares about the game pretty much.
You're there to watch the game. No
everybody
one's
has
watching
bets.
halftime.
It's a huge screen with surround sound. Everybody has bets on the game. There's this banter back and forth. The only reason it can't be 1 because if it's your team and you're wearing your team's jersey and they lose, then you will get absolutely berated by everybody there. And then when you're walking around in the casino, people are clowning you.
Hey,
I remember me and Elizabeth just getting just
I'll tell you what, bro.
Last year, it was so bad, dude.
No, that part's bad.
Punch somebody.
But when you're the team that wins last year, I felt like I was an Eagles fan because we obviously had money
jumping up, cheering,
dude. Everybody
we were running around,
dapping us up, dude. Chest pumping, just these random ass dudes just lit.
That's 2. Yeah, that's 2.
Like those moments are elite, man.
Honestly, dude, that could be 1. I mean, that's the thing is, if your team wins, it's the best. If your team loses,
it's
you
ups
literally
and downs, dude.
You literally would want to be home alone by yourself if your team loses. That's number 1. If your team loses, the best place to be is at home alone.
Okay, so you got 1, 2, 3, and then 5. At your 4, you have watching the game by at home. You maybe a loved one.
So if I were to do this one again, I would switch sports bar and sitting and watching at home alone. If you're a purist of if you can't enjoy watching football by yourself, you're not a football fan.
Hey, my favorite thing is when I'm sitting my ass on the couch by myself and I'm just texting you all game long and we're just going back and forth, dude. This BS or whatever.
I would love to watch football with you because it's somebody that I know you know me well enough that you wouldn't push my buttons unnecessarily. Like when it's not a good time versus when it's a good time.
Hey, I did that one time. Never again, bro.
Or when and that's the thing. So I always tell Elizabeth, I'm like, look, I get that I am over the top. I am unbelievably dramatic. I am obnoxious, and my fandom's gone too far. Like I fully admit that I have a problem when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, at least you're aware.
But that being said, I'll tell Elizabeth, I'm like, I know the best situation for me is watching the game completely alone. Like I honestly cannot believe I watched the Super Bowl with you guys, everybody there, in the sports book, like with all my homies. Like I honestly can't believe I did that. Luckily, it went the way it needed to go. Dude, it probably couldn't have.
You, Jordan, me, and Garrett, we were all riding like the same thing. Obviously, we're all rooting for the Eagles, and I just feel like we were so into it. The energy was just high, no matter what the score was the whole game.
I know, but it did help that we made a bunch of money because all of our bets hit.
Yeah, that always helps.
That the Eagles just completely blew out probably the most hated team in football. Like it just there was a lot of factors that led to that being
it was an elite experience.
Because could you imagine if we had bet on the Chiefs or were Chiefs fans, that would have been the worst
Oh,
experience and the worst
especially
place
all
to
the
be.
Eagles
I
fans
mean,
running around parading.
dude, nobody's more annoying than Eagles fans.
Yeah,
So
for real.
that would have been pretty bad. And I remember I did like a couple times I took a look back at like the Chiefs fans and I was like, this has got to be just a miserable experience
I'm
being down
surprised they were even still there. They're like, we have
34
hope.
nothing in the Super Bowl. It was 40-6 with 3
Oh.
minutes left. I mean, that is just a
Hey,
brutal
what we should have
experience.
done. Actually, I'm gonna do it real quick. We're gonna do one more ranking just for fun.
Okay. Yeah, that wasn't a
I'm
bad
gonna
one.
give you 5 Super Bowls. I also want you to blind rank.
Oof.
Okay.
This is so brutal because you give me the 5 best ones, or you give me the
We'll
5
say,
worst
we'll
ones,
say
or you
it
give me
has to
one.
be within the last since the 2000s. Okay.
Okay. And just when you
First off,
say, you're gonna tell me the matchup as well? Because I mean, I could probably get which one's which, but
okay.
it'd be easier if you were like Super Bowl, 40, Super Bowl 49,
What if I give
Patriots,
you a
and
year? Do you still need the teams?
yeah, just give me the teams, and it's gonna be better for the listeners too.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. And so to start us off,
Okay,
we're gonna go. No bias in this, by the way.
none.
Start us off. We're gonna go 2021 Rams Bengals.
This one was okay. I mean, I think it gets slept on a little bit because I know the Rams don't have the strongest fan base in the world, right? You go to SoFi Stadium and it's like always 50-50, and neither do the Bengals. But I actually thought this one was a better game than it was close. Neither quarterback was just complete dog water like in this last Super Bowl. And obviously I don't know what's going to come after. Are you going to give me just 5 amazing ones? Or are you going to mix in some crap?
It's the beauty of a blind ranking.
I know that's the issue, and the first one's just always hard. I just think the safe bet. This one's got to be 3 or 4. I'm gonna go 3 because even if it's too high, I can make an argument for it.
Okay. We'll go 2004 Patriots defeat the Panthers.
This one was a better one than a lot of people realize. I think a lot of times people, some of Brady's other ones like outshine this one, and obviously with recency bias. Oh, it's a 2 or a 4. The issue is when you think back on them, you kind of like a lot of times if it was like good in the moment, you kind of think back on it very fondly.
Yeah, reminiscing
Yeah, I know. I mean, especially if it was good at the time, right? Like if somebody asks me to go back to that, the Rams Patriots, Super Bowl that was like 13-3 or whatever the score was, like that one I'll think back on and be like, yeah, that one sucked.
garbage. Yeah.
But in the moment, you just remember how you feel. I hate doing this. I'm gonna put it at 4, but I hate doing that.
Okay.
I literally hate doing that.
So we got 2021 3, 2004 at 4. This one 2017. Do you remember this one?
So that one would have been 2017 was the 2016 season. 2017 Super Bowl, that was the comeback, right? Tom Brady's comeback against the
Falcons
28-3 Falcons. That one, I mean, since the 2000s, that one's got to be number 1.
Okay.
I mean,
even though 3/4 of it was not fun.
I mean,
it
right,
was,
like,
I guess, because everyone's rooting for the Patriots.
And it was still like, I don't mind when there's like a team, I guess, that's putting together a lot of offense, like in this Super Bowl we just watched, like it was literally just field goals. Like, right, it was the Falcons were churning on offense. Like this was pretty entertaining,
True.
and they were doing
Falcons
it to a
were
team
good.
that was really, really good. And then I always say like a good, I've made this analysis about something else, but right, like a movie that's okay for the first, 3/4 of it, and then has an unbelievable and amazing ending. You're walking out of that movie theater like, man, that was awesome. Versus a movie that has 3 great quarters and then kind of has an ending, you're probably walking out feeling right? We're just a recency bias people. And if a 4th quarter overtime is, awesome, that's all that really leaves. And I'm just trying to think since the 2000s, like there's only one other that myself as a biased fan would probably pick over it, and you could argue for it over, and you might even bring it up, but I'm going to put that one at 1.
Okay. We're gonna go. Let's see. We got 3 right now.
Yep, 1, 3, and 4 I've taken, so I got 2 and
Okay.
5.
We're gonna go 2023, the overtime game. Chiefs.
That was the one I went
Niners.
to. It just depends on which the last one you give me is, which is, I guess, the idea of a blind ranking. This one was great, overtime, and you told me not to be biased, so any Super Bowl the Chiefs won is instantly basura, instantly trash. But I'm going to have to go. I mean, it was a good game. I mean, the Niners even scored in overtime, kicking a field goal, and they went and hit a game-winning touchdown in overtime. I'm going to put it 2. I mean, it was a great game. I mean, it sucked, to be honest, but it probably unbiased too, I guess, from the overall entertainment aspect. That hurts me to
Sorry,
do.
where'd you say you put it?
2.
Really?
Oh, I hate you. I'll change it to 5. I see that grin. It's 5. It's 5.
No, you can't change it. It's 2 now.
Okay, don't tell me you're putting. I swear, if you say Super Bowl 52.
No, I'm not. I'm not. But I will say, that's kind of crazy that, like, I guess
An
I mean, it went to
overtime game where
overtime.
both teams score in overtime.
I felt like the
that's
overtime was
pretty good.
garbage, though. I don't
You
know,
thought
dude.
what was garbage?
The overtime.
What do you mean? The Niners went and scored and kicked a field goal, and
Yeah,
the
but it was
Chiefs
all
game-winning touchdown.
It was all stupid. It was like, oh, we don't know this, we don't know that.
Well, yeah, there was that little bit.
And
But, like,
I hate both teams, and
that
they're
was
so
the players
unbiased.
saying that at the end, and the players don't get to make the decision, right? Just
Who
like
did you have for 3? 2021 was better.
Huh?
2021 was better.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is the idea of a blind ranking.
Who do you have at 4?
The 2004.
2004. Dude, that one might be better too.
I know. Well, that's the idea. It's a blind ranking. I was leaving room for some good Super Bowls.
So throwing it at 5. All right. At number 5, so at 1, you have 2017.
2017.
At 2, you have
Patriots come back.
At 2, you have 2023.
Yep. Overtime.
3,
Chiefs.
you have 2021. 4, you have 2004. At number 5, you have 2012. Giants defeat the Patriots.
And was that the year they were No, that wasn't the undefeated year.
Mm-mm.
No, that was the second time they beat them. Okay, I mean that was a good game. I mean,
definitely not 2.
Yeah, it's not 2. I mean, the first Giants victory I put higher just because of the magnitude of it all. I mean, that was insane, right? I would put. Yeah, I don't actually. I mean, I guess I don't hate it as much as I thought. I thought you were going to give me like, Super Bowl 52, where most yards ever in a game at the time of any game, which was just entertainment galore. I mean, if you want to be entertained, that one honestly, because that's like what I was telling you about, like that Super Bowl 52, the Eagles beat the Patriots in when there was 1,200 yards of offense and they scored a bunch. Like the ending ended up not being quite as good. I feel like the Eagles scored with like go ahead touchdown with like maybe 6 or 7 minutes, like 6 minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the Patriots got the ball and then they fumbled and the Eagles like tried to run out a bit of clock.
Yeah, I just decided to stay away from Eagles games.
Well, no, and that's fair. And I would have been biased. But that would have been my point. That one would have been, from an entertainment aspect, I think number 2 behind that Falcons comeback for your average fan, just because the ending.
My only argument against
was a little slow.
Because yes, super entertaining. My only argument against it is it's 2 teams that everybody hates. So Patriots by what was this 2018? Patriots by then are just freaking over with, right?
Yeah.
Nobody wants them, and then Eagles,
That was the first one. I actually think there was a lot of people that rooted for the Eagles in that one because it was.
No, they did for sure. It
Nick
was kind of one of those
Foles,
Eagles
a complete
things.
Yeah, and everyone can relate to an underdog, and so you got this backup quarterback that had quit football, that comes in and wins it, and they were underdogs in every single game throughout the postseason. Like, I think that one was. I think there's a lot of people that root for the Eagles that year.
Yeah.
Now, fast forward, 2022, I even think there was a decent amount of people that were rooting for. Yeah, I just think it's just like, and then
I
obviously
think the Eagles have been the team like
Yeah,
they've always been the lesser of two evils in sports fandom in these matchups, right?
yeah,
Patriots, Chiefs, those have been
yeah.
everybody hates them.
I think
So,
that's the one thing yeah, they've always been against probably the most hated team in football at that point. Um, I will say their first one though. I think whenever a team has a chance to win their first Super Bowl, the public naturally gets behind them, and especially underdog stories.
oh,
Now, the
for sure.
last two times, the only reason that the public probably wanted them to win a little bit more than the other team was just because of the Chiefs, because the Eagles are at the point where they're probably the most hated or second most hated NFC team. Cowboys, Eagles are probably a coin flip.
Yeah. But yeah, that was fun. I think you did pretty good on the super.
Yeah, I
I
didn't
mean,
do
you did
too
pretty
bad,
good
and
on
you
both
made
of
it,
them.
and you didn't end it because whenever people do blind rankings, I always think they can just like come in and hose you. You're like, oh, you got the fifth spot left, and then you like the best Super Bowl ever, you know?
Well, no, because you have to have your list
Yeah,
first.
as long as you get your list first, you're good. But I just feel
Because
like
if you come in,
I
if you
sometimes
come
watch
in
those
randomly,
videos.
dude, you're just
Yeah, I think sometimes I
screwing
watch
them.
those videos and they're just trying to clip farm by like, oh,
Oh,
the
for
dude
sure.
he put that,
Hey, I'm just a
Patriots come
normal
back in
guy.
5.
Media, give us a follow for not being clickbaiters.
I love that.
Or clickbaiters. But yeah, let's get into some Super Bowl talk. So, you know, I made a good amount of money on it, so I was pretty entertained. I'm actually on a roll this week. I threw 25 on Jazz to beat the Heat. That turned into 100. Threw 20 on Kansas to beat Arizona. That turned into 100. They were down like 7 when I did it. And then yesterday I made 500 off the game. And then earlier in the week I made money on UNC. I lost on BYU, but I made money on UNC. So doing well. But Super Bowl, I was entertained. Did you make money on the Super Bowl?
No.
You just had the
I
Sam
actually
Darnold bet.
Yeah, that was the only one that I had that I placed, I don't know, a little bit ago. I don't know why I wasn't like I ended up not loving it. Like I saw that public was just hammering the Seahawks minus 4.5, and that there was more sharps on the Patriots side. And so
You know
my
what's
issue
crazy is I ended
I
up taking
felt like
Patriots plus
I
4.5.
felt I felt like I was on and you still made $500. It's incredible.
Yeah.
I felt like I wanted to do the Seahawks minus 4.5, like is what I felt, and just from like watching these two teams coming in. But then like a lot of the stuff that like I kept reading and seeing, where it's like Publix hammering the Seahawks, the sharps are back in the Patriots, the books need the Patriots,
Well, and dude,
right?
I think like
This
every time the
referee crew,
favorite has been a minus 4.5, they're like 0-7 or something.
yeah, I
That's
saw like a
crazy.
stat like that, and then I saw
Yeah.
the stat where, the Patriots are 0-5 against the spread when this referee crew is reffing because of how they typically call games. And I was just like, man, dude, it's like I felt the Seahawks, and then like I feel like all of every like some of these like you know some more of these trends are telling me the Patriots, and then I didn't know if it was just because I had been on just the Patriots fraud train this whole like last
Yeah.
4, 5, 6 weeks, that I was just like getting too emotional to the point where I'm like, no, Seahawks gonna kill them. Like Drake May sucks. The Patriots are frauds. They haven't played anybody. Their schedule sucked. So that's why I kind of stayed away from the game line. And I mean, I know the Super Bowl is fun to bet on, but like I don't need to have money on the Super Bowl to be super invested in it. And
Yeah.
sometimes I think when I have money on a team in the Super Bowl, it kind of ruins it a little bit for me.
Really?
Like
That's crazy.
if you place a bet on a Super Bowl, right? So imagine you bet on that awesome Super Bowl that was number one on my list of the ones you gave me there. You bet on the Falcons, and you have to watch. You bet on the Falcons money line. You have to watch them come all the
Yeah.
way
I
back
mean,
and lose
that's
that one.
super fair.
Like you'd end up being like, dude, that Super Bowl sucked, and you have this feeling like, dude, that was horrible. Whereas like I didn't care, right? I probably wasn't a Patriots fan. I probably was rooting for the Falcons more so, but I was looking at it
Yeah,
from
see,
like a
I still did
purist
care because I
football fan
hated the
to the
Patriots at
point
the
where I was
time.
like, wow, that was awesome. And I would have thought it was a good Super Bowl even if the Falcons won it, right?
Mhm.
But if I would have had money on it, it would have totally changed it.
No, that's
So
super fair.
now the only time I disagree with that is when your team's in it. Obviously, if your team loses, you're gonna hate it. If your team wins, you're gonna think it's amazing. So you might as well put some team money on your team.
Yes and no. I have a hard time betting on my teams, but I've been
That's
doing it a
fair.
lot in college basketball for some reason. But I don't know because I feel like Yeah, I don't like
The
betting on my
highs are higher,
teams.
the lows are lower.
Yeah, I guess that's probably why. But I also feel like when I bet on my teams, I'm more emotional with it.
That's fair.
Um, right, like the Cardinals. If I would have, like, I very easily could have been like 7 games in a row. They lost that last game to the Seahawks by a field goal. They're gonna win this game. Oh, they lost by 4 points. They're gonna win this game. I would have been down like 2 grand if I would have
Yeah.
bet on the Cardinals. So I don't know. I don't like emotional betting, but I see what
No,
you're
I
saying
agree.
for sure, and it definitely
No.
like increases. And like the Super Bowl last year, right? For you, so lit having money on it. But
Yeah, but yeah, I didn't. I guess I would have been just as emotional. I think. I don't think it would have changed that much for
yeah,
me. I
no,
would
and I
have
agree.
preferred to lose money than.
Knowing you 100%, the money did
Yeah.
not matter. Like
Yeah.
you would have been more worried about.
I honestly forget, like, about when I go and watch clips from that one. I totally forget that I just raked it in on that Super Bowl.
Oh,
But yeah, what were your thoughts of this one? What was your like big, in
So-
one word? How would you describe the Super Bowl? One word.
just for the casual fan, I mean, it's pretty easy, boring, right? Like I'm just gonna keep it simple. There's no dancing around it. Pretty boring. Yeah, I mean, we started off 3-0 in the first quarter, I believe. 6-0 all the way up until the last minute, and then it's 9-0 going into halftime. I throw money
12.
on Myers to win MVP. He should have got it, by the way. He got hoed. But
No,
no,
he didn't get
K9 cooked. K9
Yeah.
cooked.
But
But
hopefully was second. He better have been second.
he was. Yeah, he was second, at least as far as odds go.
Okay.
And I'm like, dude, there's no way, like, surely the Patriots get one, right? And I mean, what was really crazy to me, Chase, is when it's the first quarter and both teams have touched the damn ball 3 times. When does that ever happen?
Mhm.
6 total times these teams had the ball.
When you don't cook any of the clock and you just punt it back to them immediately, you're gonna get a lot of possessions.
Yeah. So for me, first half was awful. I did take the under 20.5 first half. So like I was excited about that. But yeah, my bets were I took plus 4.5. I took under 20.5 first half. And then I did a 6-leg parlay. I needed Drake May 200 yards, 30 plus rushing yards, a couple Travion Henderson props, and K9 props, right? Oh, and Cooper Kupp. So, Cooper
Shredded.
Kupp hits, K9 hits, Travion Henderson gets his rush yards, but he has 0 receptions. And then Travion Henderson gets the 2, and I'm thinking everything's cooked, right? I'm like, I lost what, $100, right? And then all of a sudden, dude, Drake May just comes out balling, couple deep bombs. I'm like, oh, I have a chance. He has like a 15-yard run. I'm like, oh, we're there. And then I placed another bet. It was 19-0. And what's crazy is I went to go bet that the Patriots weren't going to score. But then I saw that they were a plus 17.5 for like a, let's see, 20 turned into 60. So the odds were pretty good. So I'm like, oh, actually, I'm going to go bet the plus 17.5. And K9 had that breakaway touchdown that got called for holding. I'm like, dude, it's over. I got cooked. But luckily it was holding, so they covered that. And then my parlay got backdoor hit. So like as for me personally, I was actually excited in the fourth quarter because a bunch of things were going my way. Now I saw Jordan, our homie Jordy, put up a Hunter Burger on defense to get that touchdown. That is crazy.
I couldn't believe that the payout wasn't bigger. It was only like a plus 400.
Yeah, absolutely nuts.
What did he place it on?
Kalshi.
That is like that. I felt like that should have been like a plus 1,000.
I agree. Like when I saw the payout was
Oh, I guess it
500.
was defense / special teams, and I guess
Oh, was it?
with Shaheed having returned a punt
Yeah, that's
return for a
probably right.
touchdown, a kickoff return for a touchdown recently, and like 2 of the last 4, and then the defense being scary good. I guess I can see because on most teams that would be like probably a plus 1,000, but I guess on the Seahawks,
I still feel like it should be at least a plus 7 or 8 though.
I know, but when in 2 of their last 4 games they've had a special teams touchdown,
Yeah.
Like you're like, okay, so that's a plus 100 there on just the special teams. 2 of the last 4 hitting, right? That's every other, and then you include the defense in on it. So I guess that actually kind of makes sense.
But throwing 100 on it's crazy.
He always does that though. Remember when
Yeah, he'll
they
pick a
actually Jordan,
random
I think, was
thing.
the only one that didn't make money in that Super Bowl last
Yep.
year
He
when
threw
we were down in
$100 on a
Vegas
parlay, and that's it.
because he and then didn't, or was it the week prior when he and I felt like they were all doing like first touchdown scores and they were like, no player listed. You're like, dude, they list a lot of players on there. Like, you have to get essentially, you need injuries for
Yeah.
people to get in there.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, but it's a plus 15,000.
Yeah,
And they'll put a
that was
burger on it.
That was a cool hit though. Like rooting for a defense to score, that has to be elite.
Yeah. I wonder what else he bet because I knowing him, he did like 5 anytime touchdown bets.
Yeah, he probably he probably did.
I bet that was a break even play.
Yeah, but he set the hit, right? You have to.
Oh, you have to. That's the one thing that's nice is you always, post the wins. You don't show the losses. It's a better way to do it.
But I know you're very critical, rightfully so, of Drake May. I thought he looked horrible in this game, but my argument, listen. Drake May played horrible. There's no dancing around it.
Okay, that's it. Don't dance around it then.
But the O-line was worse.
The O-line was bad.
Will Campbell, biggest bust of the draft.
You have to know, like, what I don't understand is your O-line's getting beat by a drum, and he's like, let's see if I can hold it a little longer and stare it down in the face. Like, there was a couple sacks. He took 6 sacks.
Yeah.
There was, I would say, at least 2 of them were on him for taking the sacks. The first one, he's like rolling to the right, and he's like, oh, this guy's coming. Maybe I can outrun him. Oh, I'll lose 20 yards. Because they were moving it. They moved it pretty decent on that first drive until he took that huge sack.
Yeah.
And then the second one is, dude, how do you get sacked? The pressure is up the middle, no pressure on the outside, and the dude sacks you through your offensive lineman. Like, dude, be an athlete. Like,
yeah, that one was really bad.
But then there was some of them where I'm like, look, Drake, like, get the ball out of your hands. And there was times where Diggs was wide open, and it just almost looked like after he had he got like a little bit hesitant, and I think it was mainly because of that pressure.
I think it was
2 years in a row that the defensive line has won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and yeah, dude, I don't know. I think there's a lot of issues. Patriots defense, shout out to them. I mean, they were obviously super tired. They were on the field all game long, and it took until almost the fourth quarter for a offensive touchdown for the Seahawks. So
I felt what's funny is if the Seahawks had a good offensive game, because they did not, there's no way the Patriots would have gotten that many possessions and would have been skunked.
Yeah, easily.
Because, I mean, I've never seen 2 teams have that many opportunities. Like, most of the time, you might get 7, 8 possessions a game. Like, I swear each team got like 14 possessions.
Next year's Super Bowl is going to be rigged, though. Roger Goodell, he can't have 3 bad Super Bowls in a row. Imagine if Josh Allen was in this Super Bowl.
Yeah. I mean, I guess my only argument to that is viewership is just broke 2 records back-to-back years. So I guess
I know, but I don't care about viewership. I want it to be a good game.
Well, that's what Roger Goodell cares about because that's how they signed. That's how they do their contracts.
We're talking about Roger Goodell.
Yeah, you said Roger Goodell can't have it.
No, I did.
No, I get it. No, I want cinema in the next one, unless it's the Birds. I want it to be just like last year's. Am I good to go on a little bit of a rant here?
Let's hear it.
Okay.
But please be nice to Drake May.
I'll apologize in advance then.
I'll sit back.
This Super Bowl, in my opinion, the one word I would use is expected. I expected it. I'd been calling it the last couple weeks. We saw Drake, the scheduled May, get to play essentially just trash all year. I think they said of his 17 games played, 13 of the teams fired their head coach. 2 of those other games were against the Jets. I think there was a game against the Bengals.
Not 13 of those.
Yeah, there were so many that fired. Go look at it. I think
you're including duplicates.
Yeah, they said 13 of the 17 games. Obviously.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said 13 teams.
No, I think it was the Jets who they played twice. Obviously, weren't in there. I think the Bengals were one of them that didn't fire the head coach. I can't remember the other one, but there was like 12 or 13. Like their schedule was pretty much it. Well, statistically, it was the easiest schedule in like the last 30 years. So we get to the playoffs, and what do we see? We see Drake May have to play a few real defenses, and the first week he looks okay at best. And then it's just trash, 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 trash. Like we're talking Deshaun Watson Browns trash. And actually, that's actually offensive to Deshaun Watson. So I'm gonna apologize to you, Deshaun.
No, it's
I know you're a
not.
listener.
No, it's
No,
not.
let me propose a stat to you. Drake May,
I don't want to hear it.
since 2000, has the lowest EPA in playoff history. CJ Stroud, this season's EPA wasn't even that bad. I mean, it was literally statistically speaking from the EPA point of view. And then here we'll do another stat on top of it. This is the stat I was telling you a little bit about that I couldn't believe it. The 0-16 Browns, they scored 1.22 points per drive. Drake May in the playoffs, they scored 1.13 points per drive. Drake May's offense was worse than the 0-16 Browns in the playoffs. I mean, so if essentially the 0-16 Browns, the way I look at it, if they would have got to the playoffs, would have almost won the Super Bowl with Drake the schedule May. Like it was
Well, there's
honestly is some of the
different
worst
factors
football.
that, but
And I am so grateful for that one voter who decided to vote for Justin Herbert because he was more logical.
you
He
need to
was
talk
more
about that, bro.
logical, and that was a better vote than 23 people who voted for Drake May. The guy that voted for Justin Herbert, I'm like, you saved the MVP because it would have literally had an asterisk next to it for all future awards, just being like, these people do not know how to vote. Let's watch Matthew Stafford in 2 games throw for 700 yards and 7 touchdowns and no turnovers against that Seattle defense. And then we're going to go watch Drake the schedule May literally look like, I mean, he was bouncing balls, he was butt puckering, holding onto the football. There was one where he throws it not even out of bounds. It looked like it was a throwaway, but it was in between. There was the sideline, his receiver, and then the ball was back here. It was like, so were you throwing it away? Was it just such a horrible throw? I mean, it was. And then like the pick late, like you start getting
Yeah, that
some
pick was
momentum.
awful.
There's like
Insane.
7 minutes left. You're down 15, so it's still 2 possessions. You're at like the 50-yard line. You're moving a little bit. And like you just huck it to the defense. And my favorite part about that was Colin Cowherd was too stunned to speak. Like I literally think he was like 3 seconds away from saying Drake May is the most ass quarterback to ever play in a Super Bowl. I honestly thought that was
Hey,
on the
you know what's
tip.
crazy though?
That was the tip
So
of his
in
tongue.
that game, right? On that pass, he steps up, right? He's confident. And he darts it.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, he's got a guy. He's got a guy. 20 yards.
Oh, dude, it was so bad. And the funny thing is I think that's what I think that's why I actually somewhat like this Super Bowl because it was almost satisfying for me to watch because I'm
Yeah.
like, finally
know.
you don't get bailed out by your
Listen.
defense, and the defense tried to bail them out so hard. See, the Patriots defense played unreal,
Insane.
unreal.
Against one of the
And-
hottest offenses in the league right now.
Yeah, and the Seahawks defense obviously played even better, but I felt the people I feel so bad for is the Patriots defense because if they had a halfway coherent quarterback, if they had current Deshaun Watson, close game.
Speaking of Patriots defense, we cannot go through this show without shouting out Christian Gonzalez. If the Patriots won, I would have been like, he's Super Bowl MVP. The amount of deflections, dude. Now he should have caught that last one.
I mean,
Him
that
hold
would
his
have been
hands.
an.
It's a
You
tough
talking
catch,
about you talking about the
the one that
run
hit
right
both
before
hands.
half?
No,
Right
end of game.
I'm trying to do that one.
Seahawks were about to score. I think Myers ended up kicking another field goal because of this.
Yeah, I thought that was one before end of half.
He dives and it hits both
Yeah,
hands.
that was before
this was on the
that was
comeback.
before half.
No, it was on the comeback.
So he had 2 because the
He
one
had
you just
2 in the
described
first half.
was in the
two
end
with one
zone.
hand. He had two in the first half with one hand where he just freaking leaped.
Yeah, no, I remember that. And then the first half also, he had the one where it was like a post route from JSN, and he's diving, and it hits his hand, and they end up kicking
One or
a field
two.
goal.
One or two hands.
Two hands.
Let me look it up. I'm so confident.
I'm
it's
trying to
in
think of the end of the game one. I mean, maybe the game was over and I wasn't
We
paying
might be
attention.
talking about the same one, but I swore. When was?
But yes, Christian
Thanks. Keep talking
Gonzalez.
while I do this.
Christian Gonzalez was unbelievable in that game. He literally locked up JSN, the offensive player of the year, looked like a scrub. I mean, Darnold started the game like 4 of 14, and like four
Horrible.
of those were deflections from like Gonzalez, or obviously, you know, the one that he kind of sort of dropped, which would have been an amazing catch, is the one that I can think of. But yeah, Milton Williams was getting pressure up the middle all day. He just whiffed on Darnold a couple times, which was a little bit uncharacteristic. But the one thing that I was more so than shocked by anything else is they did pretty good. And actually, maybe you got to just shout out Kenneth Walker, because like the lanes weren't that big. Like there
No.
were so many times he was like running backwards or breaking
you remember-
tackles and then running.
There was one specific one that I was mind blown. He got through. I think he ended up having like a 30-yard run out of it, where he gets up to the line. It is just a straight line, right? He stops for a second, finds a sliver, and then you just see this speed boost, and he's just boom, gone. I don't know if they showed an overhead angle of it in a replay. I don't know if you remember which one it is, but it was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, there was so many that were crazy. I honestly feel like it's almost the Seahawks have done us a disservice by splitting this backfield. I think Zach Charbonnet is a good back, but there's no way it should be like a 55-45 or a 60-40 split. This needs to be an 80-20 split.
So I'm glad you brought that up, actually, because I wanted to talk about it. So I was thinking about that because I've been pissed, right? Watching the Super Bowl, watching last game against the Rams, I have been pissed about the way they have utilized K9's usage percentage. Here's my thought process on it, though. He's a free agent this year. And so what I think they were trying to do is they were trying to warm up Sharp into a bigger role, and they were probably going to let K9 walk, right? He was going to probably want a lot of money. And so I felt the same way. I was like, this is stupid. But like now that I think about it, it kind of makes sense. But now you almost have to keep him.
Well, I was actually going to say what you were saying there. I like the logic, but I actually think that they were trying to do it so that way K9 was going to stay cheap for him. Right?
Yes, I could see that argument too.
Instead of like, because like, I mean, I don't think a lot of people nobody had Kenneth Walker in like top 5 running back conversations. Now after this playoffs, if you don't have him in top 5 conversations, like you don't know ball, you know, like, and you know, I think that's what maybe they were trying to do is like, hey, if we don't end up winning the Super Bowl, we never fully unleashed him, and we'll get him back for cheap, and we'll try it again in the playoffs again, and maybe just keep him fresh for the playoffs was kind of the idea, and it sure enough worked.
Also, real quick, not to cut you off. Yeah, so Christian Gonzalez had that first half one, but he also had one in the fourth quarter.
What was the fourth quarter one?
I'm trying to think how to explain it. I don't know. What's funny is I can't think of the one in the first half, but he had one where he dove out, and I thought he only hit it with one hand. But then on replay, it shows, and he hit it with two hands, and he should have caught it.
Because the one that I can think of is it literally sounds like you're describing.
Yeah. No, I probably am, but it was a slant route. It wasn't a post.
There was a slant. What?
Yeah, I believe it was a slant. It was either a slant or an in.
I mean, that's essentially, a slant and a post. It's just like the depth of it, you know, they're pretty similar.
Yeah. But
yeah, you gotta send it to me because I don't.
Either way, like
I'll send you the one right before the half.
Okay, yeah. Send that to me so I can see which one you're talking about.
Yeah, I'll do it after this one. We can see.
I'll be able to easily picture it. But yeah, K9. I mean, he's a special talent. There's reports that the Cardinals are trying to go get him. My guess is, I mean, Seahawks can't let the Super Bowl MVP just walk, in my opinion.
No.
And I almost want them to just handcuff Sharp again. like K9's too talented. Charbonnet's perfect for when K9 gets injured, right? But I'd rather K9's receiving ability. I'd rather his upside, his explosive ability, than Zach Charbonnet's 3.2 yards per carry. Right?
Yeah, I do think Charbonnet's I got better, like, because K9, I love him to death. He's kind of got stone hands though, so if it's like not a screen, like we saw him drop that one.
Yeah.
What was it to keep the drive
what I like
going?
about him is he can take a screenplay 40 yards.
But that's the issue is like if you kind of if you pass it to him, he's either blocking or going for a screen pass. You kind of lose a little bit of his element where like Sharp can catch like full on swing passes, slants, and run kind of not a Christian McCaffrey tree, but I think what they do is that they got to stick to Charbonnet like pretty much being an exclusive third down back, or when K9's gassed.
Like, I agree that's my thoughts.
If it's 3rd and 10, put in Sharp. If it's K9's gotten 5 carries on the drive and he's gassed, come give Sharp 1 or 2 on that drive, but Sharp should be getting like 5 carries a game, and K9 should be 20 to 25. Split. It shouldn't be this 14-12 split. And I'm like, you're just losing out on, just a special player.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm hoping for fantasy next year. Like, I hope we get that K9 we got a couple seasons ago. Yeah. Shout out to him. Phenomenal what he had 170 total yards. Is that right?
Yeah, I think it was just under that, but it was like 160.
And honestly, if it wasn't for those big plays, they might not get 5.
It probably wouldn't have been a blowout. It probably would have been a closer victory.
Yeah.
So, but like, who else could you have given it to? I thought number 2 would have been the kicker. Number 3, that punter. Wow, what a game from the Aussie!
Yeah, phenomenal punting job.
Like 3 punts inside the 5 or whatever. Like, dude was balling.
Yeah, no, some of his placements were unreal.
So shout out K9 for making it so that the Super Bowl MVP wasn't a kicker or a punter.
And so now let's get into some drama after. You've probably seen it. I think it's funny. You see Puka's tweet
about Darnold during the game?
Just laughing. Yeah. You know what it was for?
No, I don't know what it was for.
So my thought process is that he was laughing at the fact that Sam Darnold's the first quarterback from the 2018 class in a class with Baker, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Who else was in that one? Off the top of mind, I can't think.
Oh, in the 2018. Yes, he said.
I think there was like one more stud. Obviously, Josh Rosen.
At the 2018. I think it's 2 bigger, Lamar and Josh.
Yeah, and then Baker was there, and then there was one more that was that's like a Baker, decent talent.
Josh Rosen.
Anyways, so that's what I think he was posting about it, and I don't think it was anything like hateful. But then obviously we saw the Seahawks DB. He obviously tweeted at him, and then the comments. I went through all the comments, and bro, people are so bad, calling him like all these crazy slurs. And first off, fandom is hilarious, right? Every fans gotta chill. Twitter's gotta chill. It's a crazy place, but I think it's funny because everybody's so quick to respond to stuff without context.
Oh yeah.
So it's just wild. But yeah, that's some of the drama. Everyone's like, hey, sit your ass. You're the one sitting your ass at home.
Puka Nacua does love.
Oh, dude, he's an attention fiend.
Man, dude, he had a heck of a season.
Oh, he should have won Offensive Player of the Year, in my opinion.
I agree. And you know what's crazy is he finished 4th.
He did. I didn't see the full list. Who were the 2 ahead of him?
Second was CMC. I think it was 3rd was Bijan, and 4th was Puka, or Bijan and Puka were flipped. But 2nd was CMC. I thought Christian McCaffrey had a heck of a year. But what's crazy to me...
I don't feel like he was very efficient on the ground, though.
Yeah,
but
so
that's off of eye test.
he averaged 3.9 yards a carry.
I guess that's not bad.
Bijan averaged 5.1 yards a carry, and Bijan had more yards from scrimmage. But his yardage, like Christian's split was like 1,200, 800, where Bijan's split was like
Bijan had more total yards?
Yep, 1,400,
Really?
700. So I think since Bijan wasn't like as close to 1,000, right? It was 1,400, 700, where Christian was 1,200, 800. Yeah, Bijan had an extra 100 yards total and averaged a full 1.2 yards per carry more. And I just think
It easily should have been
it
second.
was just because he was on the
third, I guess.
Falcons. It's just when you're on the but offensive player of the year, it shouldn't matter. It should pretty
I
much
agree.
just be stats.
I
And
agree.
Puka, I think we all forget his stats. What, he missed 2 games from his
2 or
like
3. He might have missed
concussion.
3 games.
Oh, did he?
And he
But
had
I mean,
what, 30 yet less
he
yards?
does benefit from having the best quarterback in
Yeah,
football
but
right now.
you can't slight someone for
No,
that.
no, I know, but it's just obviously part of it because like I just feel bad for like Justin Jefferson, you know.
Yeah, which I want to we're going to start doing rankings, like player rankings, and I can't wait for it cuz I know how last offseason went when we would talk about it, so
Hey, I'm
let's
just
see.
curious. I'm curious just about these like 2 Super Bowl teams before we get too far off. What do you think, where do you like predict the Seahawks next season and the Patriots next season? Like, do you think we'll win the division? What do you think their record's going to be? Where do you think they're going to get knocked out of the playoffs? Are they even going to make the playoffs?
Patriots are for sure I think they'll make the playoffs. I could see them lose. I think I could see them making conference championship again, depending on
Patriots.
health. Yeah. Because here's the thing, and here's my defense against Drake May. I forgot to give you my rebuttal when you had your little rant. Now listen, again, he was horrible at the playoffs. Stop rolling your eyes. Listen, I gave you your moment. It's my time to shine now.
I was being quiet.
No, you were being a little girl over there, rolling your eyes, giving me attitude. Listen, so Drake May, right, second-year quarterback. Nobody would be talking about Drake May like this if he didn't have the season he had. He wasn't, the jump from rookie year, right? As bad as he may be, we have to admit the jump from his rookie year to his sophomore year has been insane. Okay, so next year, it's another year under his belt. You'd hope he progresses, right? And then the other thing is you kind of brought it in your rant a little bit. Is again sophomore quarterback, first year in the playoffs. Had the easiest schedule all season. And then all of a sudden, even though the teams he went against weren't technically good, right? You had Justin Herbert chokes every year in the playoffs. You have CJ Stroud, garbage. Backup quarterback, Jared Stidham, right? But he still saw 2 of the top 3 defenses. And then the Chargers defense isn't a slouch, right? Even with their injuries, they do a good job on defense most of the time. And so, like, my only defense for him is he played horrible, right? But he also saw absolute gauntlet of defenses. And then who does he see in the Super Bowl? The Seahawks, who probably, if looking at it, trying to think, yeah, in my opinion, Seahawks had the best defense in the NFC.
Yeah, no, that's definitely valid. But I guess my only rebuttal to that would be he played worse than the 0-16 Browns.
And he has a horrible O-line.
And statistically, he was the worst quarterback in the playoffs since 2000. And so he's not going to get to play the easiest schedule in 30 years again. And
no, I know.
If anything, it'll probably be a more challenging schedule.
I think him playing the easiest schedule hurt him for the playoffs, right? Because
I just think it showed his true colors instead of seeing the fraudulentness to it. Yeah, the reason I think the Patriots are still going to be good, I don't know if they get back to the conference championship game, is because that defense
I can see them losing first round too. It's like a gauge.
The defense is a champion. I don't see them missing the playoffs because they're a championship defense, and they have Mike Vrabel, who's an unbelievable coach. I mean, he had the Titans rolling. They were the 1 seed with Ryan Tannehill. That's also partially why Drake May isn't necessarily all that, because Ryan Tannehill was good with Mike Vrabel on those teams. But I think I have a hard time believing that they're going to miss the playoffs, but I also have a hard time because this was kind of the flukiest year for the AFC. to the point where, like, right, the Chiefs were out of it, the Ravens were out of it, right? The Joe Burrow wasn't there. Not that he's been there a lot lately. Josh Allen has his worst teams he's ever had. Had one of his worst games he's ever had in the postseason. So they didn't have to face them, and then he got to face a backup quarterback. Like, that's where I think, like, I think the AFC can't be worse than it was this year. So I do think it'll be harder than last year. If I had to put my money on it, I'd probably have the Patriots losing in the divisional round. Still a decent season, probably getting one
Yeah, I
win,
don't hate that at all.
losing in the second round to, like, maybe the Ravens can finally get over the hump and move on a little. Well, I guess they've made it.
You
to
never
the
know,
AFC
though,
Championship
because, I
game,
mean, Patriots could come out and lose and not even make the playoffs next year.
I know,
Like,
right?
that's
Who
how
would have thought?
crazy
Who would have
the
thought the
NFL
Chiefs
is.
wouldn't have made the playoffs? Who would have thought that
Exactly.
the Ravens wouldn't
That's
have
how
made the playoffs?
crazy the
I
NFL is, and
mean,
I'm
the
so sad it's
Lions.
over.
And then, what do you think about the Seahawks?
I don't think it's going to be as successful of a season. I think you're going to lose some guys. They do have a lot of money. And this is me trying to not be biased, but they lose Kubiak, who, in my opinion, top 3 offensive coordinator in the game right now.
Mm-hmm.
That one really hurts, right? What happened to the Eagles when they lost their OC? We just thought, right? And so we don't know who's coming in at OC. So, that's going to determine that. I think they're going to lose players. We talked about it. K9's going to be a free agent. It's very possible he just got his ring and he wants to walk, And JSN has been really good. He'll be back. Cooper Kupp, old. I don't know. I mean, the defense is good, but they're also kind of getting to that point. They're not old, but they're getting to that point where it's like at some point soon, if not this season, in the next few years, we're going to start to see regression from the defense, right? As far as next season goes, they're still going to be the Seattle Seahawks defense. Mike McDonald's awesome. Realistically, I could see him making the playoffs, losing in the first round.
I mean, that's fair. I think I would say the one thing that's challenging for the Seahawks.
Sam Darnold's coming back, right? He signed like a 3-year.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, he's still going to be there. I would say the tough things for them, obviously you named it, losing their OC, and they had a real efficient offense. It wasn't as efficient in the playoffs, but it was real efficient all season long. And then my issue is their division is just gauntlet, right? Like we saw they were so close to losing it to 2 different teams in their division. The Niners can't be less healthy. They'll only be more healthy, right? And especially, I mean, on offense and defense especially. So the Niners are going to be better than last year. It's hard to believe that the MVP of the league isn't going to be at least.
So I was actually going to ask you about that.
And then I think the Cardinals can't be much worse. So I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think that they're going to get the luxury of the 1 seed.
Who would
My guess is they probably make it as a wild card or.
Yeah, and that's where I'm at too. But who would you say is more likely to have a worse season, the Rams or the Seahawks?
Next year?
Mm-hmm.
I would say the Seahawks. I know there's a lot of people that are going to be upset about that one, but I just think, like you mentioned, I think the Seahawks have more question marks on who's coming back. And then the other thing that's so tough about being the defending Super Bowl champions is like everyone's gunning for you.
There's no chance they win the Super Bowl again.
You get everybody's 100% best shot. Like everybody uses you as a measuring stick. There's a reason it's like so dang hard to repeat, and there hasn't been that many. I mean, we've had Chiefs, Patriots. Like I think those are the only 2 teams in the 2000s that have repeated. Like so, in 26 years, we only have 2 repeat champions. Like, I mean, I guess the Patriots did it on a couple different occasions.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't they do it? Yeah, they did it twice. But I still think like it's just so hard to repeat, and just because you get everybody's best shot, they'll be losing their OC. I think they'll lose a couple of pieces. And obviously a lot of stuff lined up pretty well, and it's hard to get everything to line up twice. And then what makes it so tough for them, and this is obviously, they can't control this, but their division's a gauntlet, right? When Brady was repeating, right? A big reason the Patriots had a lot of success, and I think Brady's the GOAT, and but their division sucked. The Bills were trash. The Jets were trash. The Dolphins were trash. Like, they had free wins. The
Yeah.
Chiefs, when they were cooking, the Chargers sucked, the Broncos sucked, the Raiders sucked. Like, they had free division wins.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting to me that, like, the first real year, last year was like kind of, I guess they were like getting their feet wet, and then the first year that division is like, the Chargers are here and the Broncos are here now, that they suck. Like, it's having a tough division makes it pretty much impossible because the season is so long. You can slip up, you catch an injury bug, and boom, you miss the playoffs. It's and we kind of saw it happen to the Chiefs where they were a little bit more injured, and they slipped up a couple times and they weren't exactly humming, and oh, now you have no shot.
Mm-hmm.
You lose a
Yep.
couple too many one
I
score
agree.
games. So that's the issue that the Seahawks face. I still think they're going to be great because they have a championship defense. And what was interesting, 8 of the top 10 defenses um, were in the playoffs there. So, and you can't say the same thing about the offenses. So defenses win championships. I think it's now, I think it's what, 3 years in a row, 4 years in a row that a top 5 defense has won the Super Bowl. And the offenses not every year have been top 5. Because like the Chiefs, their last 2 wins were often their offenses were like 10th and 15th. I think the Eagles were just outside the top 5 last year in total offense. And then, I know the Rams they had a pretty good offense all season long, but their offense actually wasn't that great in the postseason. Um, yeah, they had that good one against the Rams, but yeah, it was defense wins championships. That D line wreaks havoc, and hopefully they can keep around that D line. But I
Yeah,
just think
that
the
Seahawks
offense,
defense is.
and Sam Darnold led the league in turnovers, which is a little bit of concern. And he had a couple turnover worthy plays in the
Yeah,
Super Bowl that obviously didn't happen. But
let's conclude our show here, showing
yeah,
Sam Darnold some love. You want to kind of let's just for the casual that might not be as in tune, run us through real quick Sam Darnold's career
okay.
to where he got to this point and why it's such an amazing story.
He was a top high school prospect, goes to USC, awesome place to be for a quarterback, especially at that time. It's still a good place. He gets drafted super high. What did he get drafted? Number 2.
Too. Yep.
Yeah. And he gets drafted to where quarterbacks go to die with the Jets. Lots of arm talent, but he
Jets
loses
love
all.
having the second pick, by the way.
Yeah. And they draft
2018,
yeah.
2021.
And it's why I fully believe you can never judge a quarterback that's only played for the Jets. So he gets drafted to the Jets. He plays bad. They say he's seeing ghosts. He's horrible. There's no way to sugarcoat it. Obviously, how much of that was
The
Jets'
seeing
fault?
ghost comment was crazy too.
Yeah, he's young. He needs time to develop. He has no help. He then gets traded and he goes to the Panthers where he gets some playing time, gets benched. He's like a third stringer, not getting any playing time. And then he decides to go and get his confidence back and he picks out San Francisco as the place. Like, he sought him out to go there and fits well in Kyle Shannon's system, an accurate quarterback that's going to deliver the ball, that's not going to, bounce around and not throw the ball where it's supposed to be. So he goes and he plays in Shanahan's offense, and I think he gained tons of confidence. But he's a backup there, gets to play a little bit, looks great. So the Vikings are like, that's going to be our starter. So the Vikings have him as their starting quarterback. And he does something that the Vikings have never had happen. He wins a franchise record 14 games with them.
When they were
Plays
projected
amazing.
6.5.
Yeah. Weren't supposed to be good. Finishes top 5 in MVP voting. And they lose in the first round of the playoffs. And I'll agree, Sam Darnold didn't play well in that playoff game. And the Vikings are like, you know what? We drafted this quarterback from Michigan, national champion, that we drafted him high, and we're going to have to see him play, and it's going to be in his second year. So, Sam Darnold, we don't want you. We're good. We got 9. We got J.J. McCarthy, the future. And so he goes to the Seahawks. Seahawks are projected to finish third in their division. And it was almost like their odds were like pretty similar to the Cardinals to win the division. And they go on and win 14 games and win the Super Bowl. And it is an all-time story because he wasn't wanted by the team prior to him. They let him walk. It wasn't a trade. They literally could have just signed him. Didn't get anything for him. Just let him walk out of the building and go win a team with another NFC. Win the Super Bowl with another team in the NFC. He's the first ever quarterback to win the Super Bowl for his fifth or more team he's been on, right? Because typically Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, they don't bounce around that much, right? Usually
Nope.
it's their first or second team because good ones typically don't get traded or are backups or move around a bunch. First ever USC quarterback to start in Super Bowl and win one. So pretty awesome story about obviously resilience and especially how they were projected, where especially both these teams weren't even like in the top 15 of Super Bowl odds. And he went on to go and win it. Awesome story. So you can do anything, take that risk, take that shot, start that business. You never know. We're in a world where the Indiana Hoosiers can win the national championship and Sam Darnold can win one with the Seahawks. So you never truly know. That's the Sam
From
Darnold story.
0 to hero. Shout out Sam Darnold and congrats on the Super Bowl trophy and the ring coming along as well. This has been an awesome episode. I've had a blast just talking Super Bowl reactions, doing some blind rankings. Chase, as always, it's been a pleasure. If you guys have made it this far, leave a like, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. We're trying to grow here. Anyways, we out. Peace.